So I'm a big fan of Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. I've played them since I was little. My first game actually that I remember playing was Mass Effect 2. But the biggest thing that I keep seeing on through every single type of community and every single type of like content that I see for Mass Effect is everyone is trying to dissect these small little snippets of the like trailers and launch teasers that they've given, which I think at some point that starts to get a little boring. So I thought I'd add my own little personal opinion in it, just that way I can have this out there. If this does become true, I'm calling, like, I'm winning, but if it's wrong, then I'm gonna look like a fucking idiot. So my theory with Mass Effect 4, it kind of goes back, it kind of stems from Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, and again, I've played them all. I've gotten the best ending, full Paragon, woo. So Mass Effect, especially the next game that comes out, which I hope to God is Mass Effect 4, where we get to play as Commander Shepard again, which I think is literally the only reason to play Mass Effect now, because Andromeda was a flop, but I'll talk about that in a different video. I think that there's only a few options that they have for Mass Effect 4. So one, you have to take everything that we've seen, done, and completed from the past previous games. So Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. Now, I'm more primarily, of course, talking about Mass Effect 3. So if I'm assuming that every single person in here got the best ending. I'm just going to put that into perspective. I'm going to assume that we've all grinded, worked hard, and we got that best ending, and we enjoyed the game as we did it. So the best ending, if you don't know, is whenever you're as Commander Shepard, you take a deep breath, and then it pans out. But I'm not really talking too much about that. I want to talk more about the very, very end cutscene, besides whenever your Normandy crashes down on what looks to be a jungle planet with your crew jumping out. With the mass relays destroyed and the Normandy in shambles, it is very obvious to tell that whoever is in the Normandy is probably stranded there, at least for a decent while, because it's going to be a while for them to build the Citadel and the mass relays again. So I don't know what they're doing with that crew specifically, but Liara was on that crew, which is something that I think people need to really understand. Throughout the cutscene, Liara is on that crew. Liara is there, which I don't think a lot of people talk about. That's something that I feel like people need to pay more attention to, which means it has to be a couple years in the future. Some people say that it will happen right after, but I think guaranteed it has to be at least like 2. At least 2. I'm gonna go with at least 2 because Liara doesn't look really old. She looks literally the exact same. And as you know, Asaris can live for thousands of years. It's fucking weird to become an Ardayakshi or Master Saragon. So I don't. It's fucking confusing. God damn it. Now, with that cutscene out of the way, and I know that the at least 2-year like time frame doesn't really give a lot of context to what I'm talking about, but hear me out, okay? So with the final little cutscene after the whole jungle, you know, you crash down, your crew jumps out, depending on if you got the really good ending. I did. I will post that if you want to see what it looks like. I got the very good ending, and then all my crew jumped out of the ship. And the thing that primarily that I want to talk about is the end cutscene after that, right? So after that, you have the cutscene with a grandpa, dad figure, grandpa, if I recall correctly, and a boy. And the grandpa is just done talking about Commander Shepard and his journey, whatever, right? And then the boy's like, oh, can I get one more? Come on, grandpa, come on, one more. And he's like, all right, you know, one more story. Here's my thing. Typically with storytelling, especially if you're going to continue with these stories, and especially because I think that Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 have all been stories told about Commander Shepard, all recapping all the details that went through, I think that the boy is hearing another story about Commander Shepard. But I think this is the final story for Commander Shepard, okay? But that's kind of my claims from all of that. This is my theory, okay? This is kind of my personal theory, because if it becomes true, I'm going to be bussing. So before I talk about it, that's what I say. So I have a couple of things that I think are going to happen. One, you have to think, what is the scenario after Mass Effect 4, or after Mass Effect 3? So Mass Effect 4, you have to think, who is the villain? What is your antagonist? What are your villains, right? What are your monsters? You know, who are they? So you can't really count on the Reapers anymore. There could be some in deep space, but let's be real. If we fight Reapers, we're going to be mad. And there's a lot of people talking about how it could be the Geth. My personal opinion, like straight off the straight off rip, I think it's going to be a couple things. One, it could be the government. I think either the Alliance or Cerberus are probably either going to team up, or one or the other is going to try to fight Commander Shepard. You have to think about it. You have created peace on Earth. You have created on the galaxy. You created all of the races like each other. All the races respect each other. All the races helped fight the Reapers. If you got the best ending, that is what we are led to believe. So you have to assume that they all aren't going to just stop being teamed together. Genophage is cured, so there's no reason for the Krogans or the Solarians to be fighting. The Turians were part of that, so those three are no fighting. The only people that might fight are the Turians and the Geth, but at that point, you might as well just side with the Geth, because the Turians literally created these Geths just to enslave them. It is fucking disgusting what the fuck they did to them. But that's my first theory. Those are the first two theories. Third one, obviously, we have to go with the Geth. What I think in that case, it's going to become a civil war. I think it's going to be Commander Shepard has to choose a side, and each side is also choosing sides, which is going to put the galaxy back in pandemonium, but at the same time, not really. Like, the Krogans are going to be like fighting with the Solarians, and the Solarians are going to want to help with the Turians, and the Turians are going to be on the opposite side and be like, oh, I want to fight with the Geth, or they'll want to fight with the Turians, because if that's a big thing that's going on, then they're going to be fighting together, which does to some extent make sense because of all the exploits and everything that's been going around on the internet. It would make sense for the Geth to be a possible enemy to be fighting, but at the same time, I don't really like that one. Like, I don't like the idea of fighting Geth again. I want something new, which brings me to my personal theory that I am almost confident in my response to it. So this one is going to be a little all over the place because I don't really remember specifically exactly 100%, but here I'm going to try to give the cliff notes on it. So the Reapers are destroyed, but I believe that the Reapers have something out there in deep space that they were afraid of. Because remember, Reapers wanted to destroy all sentient life, anything. Like, they just wanted to fucking obliterate, right? But I don't know. Everything is something they look up to. Everything is something, anyone, everything has a cult, anything has a belief, everything. Even probably every race, every being on the planet, everyone believes in something. And I believe that the Reapers are no different. I think that the Reapers have a higher power. There's a hierarchy. They follow orders or they're afraid of something. And what I think is going to happen is that you could not put me in a world where everything's peaceful and expect whatever I fight to make sense. So what do? You destroy that world. I think we need to have a thing where we pissed off because the Reapers are dead, which was their cult worshippers, something. And maybe there's ancient Protheans that are pissed. There's ancient sentient beings that are just like, dude, you killed our babies. You destroyed our followers. We're going to kill you, and we're going to kill everything that follows you. And so they just wipe out the entire galaxy. The Milky Way galaxy, not just in that, they just start destroying everything one at a time, because the mass relays are getting built, they're getting recreated. So I think that the new plot is literally going to be Commander Shepard fighting the one final last ancient being that could pose a threat, and this time this suicide mission is literally a suicide mission. There is no, oh, we might come back. It is going to be, oh, we don't come back. And I feel like the better your Paragon was to the entire, the better your other games, the less likely, the less of a chance the entire galaxy was destroyed, and more it focused on a few things were destroyed, a few less. You get to keep 100 Krogans, and you have to control more of a militia and have more of a strategy based. But I also think that it could just be cool to have where you realize we're not coming back, but how much can we stop? You know what I mean? And because Commander Shepard can't live forever, but also Commander Shepard has to come back, because I'm not playing another fucking Mass Effect without Commander Shepard. That's ridiculous. And I don't think Andromeda was all that bad. I think they shouldn't have called it Mass Effect Andromeda. I think Mass Effect Andromeda was a stupid play, but that's just my opinion. I know I kind of rambled on a little bit, but I don't know. I love Mass Effect 4, and I think that a lot more people should have more creative opinions about it. I think that the game is, they've obviously been teasing this game for so long, and everyone's just posting, oh, Mass Effect 4, what about this Mass Effect 4? Oh my god, this Mass Effect 4, Mass Effect 5, like, oh my god, this secret ending. Like, dude, just, you know, it's fun to do, like, make a review every so often, or like talk about it, but I just don't think there's a reason to just explode every goddamn second. So yeah, that's basically all I have. Eat my butt.